it's an incredible feeling. Just to be here with the team, trying to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. We have been waiting for this for a whole year now, so it's going to be really exciting.
It's the best feeling. You can only dream about this, so it's a dream come true.
It's really cool to get to compete at the highest level.
Big chances that we can take some wins here and maybe get to a quarterfinal or a semifinal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2023 IIHF Ice Hockey Under-18 World Championship. Last game, Group B. In this game tonight, Team Finland faces Team Norway. Geschätzte Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, herzlich willkommen an der International Ice Hockey Federation U18 Weltmeisterschaft 2023 zum letzten Vorrundenspiel in der Gruppe B. Es stehen sich die beiden Mannschaften vom Team Finnland und dem Team Norwegen gegenüber. And here is the lineup for Team Norway playing in the white jerseys. Und dort Mannschaftsaufstellungen vom Team Norwegen in den weißen Trikot. Goaltending for Norway im Goal. Number 1 mit dem 1, Marius Björnsgaard. Second goalkeeper, number 30 mit dem 30, Martin Lüttberg.
Okay, that's lunch. We're ready.
I just booked a haircut for tomorrow.
Yeah?
My guy opened a new shop.
Let's go.
Great kid. I've been going to him for,
I might not recognize you on Thursday.
I've been going to see him for,
Defense, dritte Linie in der Verteidigung, Number 3 mit dem 3, Bastien Semerud Garcia. Number 7 mit dem 7, Michael Stöhl. Forwards, im Sturm, Number 12 mit dem 12, Hermann Boger. Number 17 mit dem 17, Oliver Langland. 21 mit dem 21, Liam Seib. Fourth line defense, vierte Linie Verteidigung. Number 2 mit dem 2, Felix Amundsen. Forwards, 13 mit dem 13, Amandas Ludwig. 16, Nummer 16, Ivervik Carlsen. Number 19 mit dem 19, Axel Sandnes. Number 22 mit dem 22, Elias Wagner. Coach of Team Norway, Cheftrainer von Team Norwegen, Christer Nilo.
so Finland is going to finish second
No matter what.
on the U.S. side, so they'll flip and play the third on the other side.
Yeah. Which as of now is Slovakia. But yeah, if this result holds, it would be Finland, Slovakia. I think Norway's going to come out and have a great game today. I think they're going to win. You heard it here first. Ivor Vic Carlson. I'm actually going to rattle through these names real quick. Marius Bjornsgaard. Felix Amundsen. Bastian Semrud Garcia. Philip Hagen. Ludwig Lafton. Michael Stone. Peter Oversvin. Stian Stolberg. Alja Ba. Herman Bogert. Amandus Klungveit. Kasper Haugen. Jürgen Mira, Ivor Vic Carlson, Oliver Langland, Felix Granath, Axel Sandnes, Alex Schothen, Liam Setra, Elias Vatna, Ule Indegard, Andreas Vatland, Martin Lundberg. There we go.
The game officials for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. The referees of the game are Lukas Kohlmüller and Ludek Pilny, and the linespersons are Nico Jusi and Tobias Nordlander. Hauptschiedsrichter für das Spiel sind vom Internationalen Eishockeyverband lizenziert und aufgeboten worden. Es sind das Lukas Kohlmüller und Ludek Pilny.
This is the first ever Norwegian game I've called. That's a milestone.
I called Victor Hovland's high school championship.
No, you didn't. Did you call his US Amateur win?
Yeah.
That's the big one. All right, buddy. Yep. Welcome to Basel, Switzerland on the final day of group play at the 2023 Under-18 IIHF World Hockey Championship. Welcome to the final game of the group stage inside St. Jacob Arena. It is Norway against Finland in Group B action. Here are the officials for today's game. Tobias Norlander and Nico Jusi of Sweden and Finland respectively on the lines. Ludek Pilny of Czechia and Lucas Kohlmüller of Germany referees. Marius Bjornsgaard will tend the crease as the starting netminder for Norway, and Emil Vini will make his third appearance in this tournament starting for Finland. And there is Christopher Nealon behind the Norwegian bench, originally from Finland, from Pietarsaari, and there is Lauri Merikivi, head coach of the Finnish under-18 team.
they may have made a late adjustment on the goaltending there. It looks like Noah Valley's in net for Finland, Victor. That may have been a late switch up. May have been a very late switch up, because I had Vini as well on the starting roster, and when they showed that shot, they've switched their V guys in net.
So Finland start out with possession after winning the opening face-off, and they'll look to close out their group stage with a win. They are 2-1. Their lone loss, an entertaining one, came to the United States in 8-4 final. Here's an early shot from Pieniemi, and Bjornsgaard the save. Norway 0-3. They're outscored 18-1 in this tournament. Couple shutout losses. The one goal, though, came against USA.
The pride in being here is what it's about for Norway. The pride of competing at this level. They're going against one of the traditional powerhouses in Finland today, and they'll be battling. You know that. You'll get their spirit. You'll get their compete level. They don't have the talent to match up. They do have the compete to give the Finns a good game.
The big game for Norway was their last one yesterday. They lost 1-0 to Latvia. Tom's Mott's the only goal in that contest, and that guarantees, because Latvia's got the tiebreak here, that no matter what, Norway will play for relegation to stay in the top flight of this division in the tournament for next year. So they'll have to beat Germany in a best-of-3 to do it.
And there will be people tell you there's no moral victories in hockey. A 1-0 loss right now, playing at this level for Norway.
Cross-ice pass, they score! An early marker for Finland. Jesse Kiiskinen getting involved offensively. And not even 2 minutes in, it's 1-0.
We featured Kiiskinen in the opening and talked about his flank play, his power play, his big shot, but what a pass coming across, just right on the tape. A bullet pass from Nurmi. Kiiskinen, he's calling for the puck the whole way. Taps it through the legs of Bjornsgaard. Finland on the board early with one of their big guns. That smile says, I love to score goals.
Did that a fair bit for the Pelicans under 20 team. 20 goals in 31 games in the regular season. He just got his second of the tournament. Played 7 games with the big team as well in the top Finnish Liga, including 1 game in the playoffs. Down low it goes. Pelicans, by the way, in the Finnish League final right now. Down 2-1 in the series to Tappara. Great time of year for hockey around the world. A lot of the European teams and leagues in their finals.
All as a prelude to the World Championships, which are coming up on TSN. We'll see some of these names in the future, Victor. We always do. I love covering the U18s and watching these young kids come up. You get underage kids. Helenius, an underage player. Kiiskinen up for this year's draft and one of the top-rated players on this Finnish team. Skill level always comes through in this tournament.
Kiiskinen is the 3rd highest ranked skater from Finland by NHL Central Scouting ahead of this year's draft.
He'd be the 2nd highest in this tournament, correct?
Second highest in this tournament. Lenny Hamanihal is the top-ranked Finn, but he's a late 04, so he's not eligible for this tournament. He is eligible for this year's NHL draft. Central Scouting has him at number 8. Then there's Kasper Halttunen, who's the highest-ranked Finn on this roster, who's at number 11 after the Central Scouting final rankings. Kiiskinen just a couple spots back there at 13.
And we throw around the late and early on the draft pick situation. A late birth date simply means he's born after September 15th. And what that does, it puts him in the next draft class. So if his 2004 birth date, he's drafted after September 15th, he's drafted with the 2005 birth dates before the next September 15th. Kind of a weird year span, a fiscal year that runs September 15th to September 15th for draft purposes. I get asked that question a lot. What do you mean by a late birthday? What does that mean in draft sequence? And you'll see a 2005, and we'll say he's a late birth date, so he's not up till the next draft.
Into the corner. Kasper Haugen was worked over. Adiasuroa plays it ahead. And here's Kasper Halttunen. Takes a shot, fires it wide. Kasper Halttunen with 3 goals entering play today. He's scored 1 goal in every game of the group stage thus far.
Well, the big Finnish right winger is a real talent. And you're thinking of other big Finnish right wingers that have gone through this sequence. And you think about Pojärvi and Laine in the same draft year, taken 2nd and 4th respectively.
Väistänen at the line. And around the offensive zone it comes for Kiiskinen, looking for another. This time Bjornsgaard will hang on tight for the whistle.
One of the more noticeable things when you look at this Norwegian lineup is the size factor and the size advantage that the Finnish players have. Only one player measuring out at 6'1" for Norway. That would be Sten Stjolberg, the defenseman. But it's an undersized team, more skilled team, and they'll have a handful with these big Finnish forwards, particularly net front.
A lot of these Norwegian players come from the same Norwegian Junior League, although there are a handful that play in Sweden as well.
Some of the elite programs in Sweden as well. Felix Granath playing with Frölunda, and we see Frölunda all the time in the Champions League, Victor, and we know we also see them on the draft board quite frequently. Simon Edvinsson and Lucas Raymond and a number of players that have come up through that fine organization in Göteborg, Sweden.
Most of the World Juniors this coming year. And among the best international programs in terms of developing players that you'll find. Shot off the wing from Liam Setra is worked wide, and back to the line it comes Lafton. Plays it over, lots of traffic in front, shot doesn't get through. Tom Leppa passes ahead for Emilio Venti. Trying to cut in, he's held to the outside by Lafton. He'll pick up the puck again, at least tries to here along the end boards. Tom Leppa does. And Alisiev to the blue line, swings it around. Oliver Langland. They'll play it ahead for Setra. And Jorventi finds Kupalainen. He's sealed off along the boards. Oversvin couldn't corral it. Back to the line. Aaron Kiviharju, good fake. Takes this shot and he sends it off the end boards. Just missing blocker side and Bjornsgaard.
Kiviharju, the quarterback of that power play for Finland, and walks that line so well.
Here comes Norway in transition. Last across, and what a save off of Philip Hagen. Noah Valley gets over and takes one away.
What a great look up ice on the rush. A tremendous pass coming across. Hagen, the recipient of that pass from Klungtveit. Beautiful look, 4-on-2 rush. And he tucks it back a little bit too far. There was a net opening there, Victor, on the short side. Hagen can't keep living with it. Look at him. The defender up on the play. Can't believe he missed that. That is a painful grimace. That's not a smile. That's a painful grimace from Hagen.
Hagen, a defenseman. He led the Norwegian under-20 Junior League in points by defenseman this year with 33. That shot is released wide by Aliasuroa.
Habits are going to be something that Lauri Merikivi from Finland, the head coach, talks about a lot today. He doesn't want to get beat up ice in a 4-on-2 situation. He knows the Norwegians are going to be aggressive. Their D are willing to join the play, but you don't want to see habits like that.
There's Kasper Haugen, sealed off along the boards quickly and over the line. Nurmi drops it back for Halttunen up the middle, stays with it. He's sealed off as Nurmi picks it up. Halttunen back to his feet. And there's going to be an interference call here on the play too. Kasper Halttunen. Skating back with it is Kasper Haugen. Norway will take their time. They got the extra attacker out there. Here's Bob. Back for Haugen. Oh, and he hits the crossbar. Finland get a touch. 6 minutes into the first. Couple great looks for Norway. A big save, a crossbar, and they'll get a power play with Kasper Haltinen going to the box.
Well, the first chance was Hagen. This is Haugen, the forward, releases it. Another 4-on-2 break for Norway, and Valley did not even see that. A great shot. So a little battle here. We watched Solberg knock down Haltinen. Haltinen came back, so a little bit of a revenge on that penalty, Victor. A little sour. The big man got knocked down flat and came back out, took an interference penalty. So nice opportunity early in this game, and Norway hanging in. They've had a couple of great scoring opportunities.
Norway 0 for 13 on the power play thus far in the tournament. They've got just a 1 goal. And here come Finland in offensively, shorthanded. Leppa scores. Tom Leppa, the shorthanded strike. Finland lead 2-0.
A little careless at that offensive blue line for the defender. And Tom Leppa, as soon as that puck pops out in the neutral zone, he is gone. You can see good pressure at the top. He's physical and just laid out there by Elisiv. Puts it out there for Leppa. The Penn State-bound Nittany Lion, who played for Guy Godowski there, the fine program at Penn State, the NCAA ranks, puts it just inside the post. Good-looking player, Tommy Leppa, big size. Good aggressive play on the penalty kill there. So I mentioned a good opportunity for Norway to get back in the game. Instead, they go down by 2 early.
So Leppa second in the tournament, plays for Jokerit's under-20 team in the Finnish top junior league. Just lost in the final there to Topper a few weeks back.
Eliseev makes a great little pass, a little feed, just puts it in space and lets Leppa go skate into the puck, doesn't make a direct pass.
Norway looking to regather themselves here on the power play as Granat down low in front. Trying to get the shot away was Liam Setra. It's tracked down by Jorgen Miro behind the net. Floats out to the far side and passes off. Off the boards to the line. Hagen. Philip Hagen takes a shot. He hit the outside of the net. Saucered over to Granath. Granath back to the front of the net. Wanted Setra. Kasper Haltinen stays in the box for Finland. Norway working with a 5-on-4. Centering pass from Mira. Toward the front of the net. Setra the shot, and volley hangs on.
3 or 4 good setups. Different looks for Norway. The setup is there. The execution hasn't quite been there. The triangle pass down below the goal line to pop out to the slot. Philip Hagen again with a couple of opportunities at the outside of the side of the net, but looking back at what is happening for Norway, they're setting up very well, just haven't quite been able to finish.
Carlson wins the face-off back. Semerud Garcia left it. And working in is Elias Vatna. Cut off along the end boards. Jimmy Junkari brought to the boards by Carlson. There's going to be an infraction here on the play. And it looks to be a hooking call against Team Norway.
The big man Väisänen was pulling away behind the net below the goal line, and nothing worse than taking a penalty 200 feet from your own net when you're on the power play. Just watch the hook here as the big man starts away. Oh, actually, that was Junkari. Starts away. I had read 3. It was actually number 2, pulling away.
Amandus Klungveit is in the box.
Klungveit's had a couple of good opportunities on offense.
So we will play 4-on-4. Not for long. Haltinen is set to step out of the box here relatively soon for Finland. There he is. On the near side, takes it one-timer, and he sent it off the heel. Aljubba, chance to clear. Now Finland are on the power play. So Norway 0 for 1. Finland are 3 for 10 on the man advantage entering play today. Kiviharju snaps it across. Haltinen in from the line. Comes around to the near side. Kiviharju passes off. Shot incoming. Catches a piece of Bjornsgaard. Back to the near side boards, and around it comes. Flung down the ice and cleared by Stian Solberg.
Everything starts at the top with Kiviharju and working the middle of that ice. And number 10, Haltonen, and number 34, Helenius switch sides. So they're both right shots, but they'll continuously switch sides, change the look.
Shot from Kieskinen, kicked away by Bjornsgaard. Hard into the end boards. Goes Bastian Shemaru Garcia.
See the strength there of Kieskinen. Follows up that shot and just plows the defender into the end boards.
Pass off of Philip Hagen and dumped down the ice.
This will be a whistle the minute it's touched.
And will be icing to Norway. Penalty had expired.
I thought it was a high stick on Norway. There's the strength of Kieskinen, and he just blows up Semerud Garcia. Kieskinen is quite an animated player. So that was a high stick, Victor, on Finland, a high stick on a puck.
So 26 seconds still remain on the power play. Here comes Kiviharju to center, passes off. Haltonen back to the far side and offside, and wasn't even close.
Kieskinen's got a real nice fire to his game and emotion. You can even see on the bench how animated he is with his teammates. You see him in conversation right there with Järventie, constantly talking and nattering away. They don't have the iPads yet, I don't think, for them over there, but he's his own iPad. He's grimacing and making faces and demonstrating. And
Alex Schulden lays it into the finish zone. And we're back to 5-on-5 even strength as Maxim Alexiev chases it low into the zone. Alexiev on the boards. Skated into the slot. Passes across. No shot. Väisänen back for Alexiev. Alexiev shoots. That's blocked in front. Maze of sticks and legs before the goaltender. Back to the line. Väisänen has it worked away. Schoden passes across off the boards. Alexiev directs it back to his own defenders.
Alexiev made a real nice play on that shorthanded goal, just popping it out and letting Lepa skate into the puck. Didn't bite on the turn at all. The pivot move by the defender. The offensive blue line for Norway, and ends up in the back of the net.
Here comes Kasper Haltonen. Sends that one off a leg. Gets it back. Takes the shot. Redirected by his stick. Stays in play. Amundsen crunched into the boards as it comes back to the point. Niilo-Pekka Muinen's there. Gets it again. Passes it down low. Amundsen is cut off by Haltonen. Looking back to the point for Pieniemi. Pass misses all the way back down the ice it goes.
That offensive line is really hard to handle. They're big guys. Helenius Haltonen. Olesiua.
Off the wing. Along the end boards. Tuomas Uronen. Back to the line for Junkari. Junkari's got it again. Now Heinonen. Topias Heinonen high in the slot. Takes the shot. That one gets through. And Marius Bjornsgaard.
Figure out a way if they do see them again. See how things shake out. But to handle that big line on the U.S. side, everybody's got to figure that out.
No one's figured it out yet.
No, the Finns aren't alone in not figuring that formula out. Boy, oh boy, what an impressive trio that is. Gabe Perreault, Will Smith.
Under 10
Ryan
goals
Leonard.
today for USA.
Oh,
5 points for Leonard. Here's a shot off the wing. It's steered aside by Bjornsgaard.
every day somebody has 5 points, but each day it's a different player.
And another shot from the line finds the mark. Viti Väisänen with a bomb from the point. It's 3-0 Finland.
And the big man gets all of that one with a one-timer coming across. It's laid across perfectly, and he steps in hard. Christer Nyland, the coach of Norway, doesn't quite have an answer for what he's watching out here. Nice pass across. Kiviharju, what a quarterback he is. The way he lays the puck in a perfect place, and watch the big man setting up and just flat out beats him. It's a clean shot. The orange guard sees it all the way, just unable to handle it.
Viti Vaisted plays for the Kuku under-20 team in the Finnish top junior Liga. Well, he did make his Liga playoff debut this year with the same team against Tappara. Had a couple games there, playing over 10 minutes of ice time.
An underage as well that won't see the draft until the following year. Big man will have a chance to grow a little more into his frame. He does some nice things. He's like a pretty solid defender, and he can hammer it from the point.
Comes from Hamina, Finland, known for being a military town, home to an 18th century fortress. We did our geography earlier today with the USA game against Switzerland. We're diving back into the history today with Finland, Norway.
We got history going, we got geography going, we got everything going.
Might have some biology coming up later, depending on how this game goes.
There's a lot of philosophy. There's always philosophy when I'm talking hockey.
Pininiemi plays it behind the net for Kangas. Turned over, and Norway sends it back around. Vatna trying to center it. He's looking for Ivervik Karlsson.
Vatna has been noticeable. You told me you had liked him before the tournament started, and he's been arguably the most notable forward for the white squad.
He's got Norway's only goal in this tournament so far, and he's an underage forward as well, 06 born. Just 5'8", 163 pounds.
He's put the puck in good spaces all day, got a couple of scoring opportunities, but he just sees things well and puts the puck in very good places.
He would not be the first small Norwegian forward to make an impact out of the country.
No, we were involved with that one back when I was a Toronto Maple Leaf, and unfortunately Matt Zuccarello chose the New York Rangers as a free agent that year.
So he would have been playing in Sweden at the time.
He was.
So you were in on it.
We were in on it big when I was with the Leafs. He wanted to go to the bright lights of Broadway. He's since moved on a couple of times, Dallas. And
here's Kiviharju. He centers and they score again. Jesse Kiiskinen, second of the period. And it's 5-0 Finland.
Kiiskinen, not only the power forward, but so smart about where to go and where to position himself. And the minute he sees Kiviharju with the puck, he knows the mobility. He's usually on the recipient of a power play pass. Watch Kiviharju walk down. Watch the setup, the release, the setup, stick on the ice. Strength, Stone tries to stay with him, but unable to contain the stick in front of the net. Watch number 7, Stone, thinks he's in a good place there, but Kiiskinen just too strong on the stick. Plant the stick hard. This would be a great angle of it here. Step in hard, put that stick down hard. Good cross ice pass from Kiviharju.
So it's 4 for the Finns. For Jesse Kiiskinen second of the period. Just over 5 minutes to go. Penalty here on the play, and we'll sort it out when we come back.
Finland 4, Norway nothing.
4-0. Shoot, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed I messed up the goalie off the top. I was just so sure it was Vini. I didn't even bother looking at the screen. Got caught on that one. Yeah, it's all right, Dino. I should have been on that. It's all good. No one's firing me for that, so. Hey, my dad is.
Playing. You can tell they're a well-coached team. Victor, they set up well. They're going through the exact process, just unable to finish.
Shot incoming is blocked. First power play unsuccessful for Norway. They gave up a shorthanded goal to Tom Leppa. Here's Philip Hagen. Passes off. Felix Granith takes the shot, sifted it through. It missed, and it comes all the way back down the ice.
Granith gets pretty good wood on that one. He thinks he's got the stick side on Valley. Just missed the outside post.
Through center ice, in over the line. Here comes Granith. Throws it around. Waiting for it is Ule Indergaard. Back to the point. Granith now off the wing. They'll take it again. Granith down low. Bump from Kangas and Valley. Where is it? It's in! Noah Valley lost sight of it. The referee did not. After about a 4-second pause, Ule Indergaard knocks it over the line, and Norway have their response.
We talked about the power play executing pretty well, and Granith moves his puck off the wall, gets it in, and the big man tries to slide around. Now it's lost. Now it's a battle. And Indergaard just kind of hanging out. Watch him on the top side. He's coming in from the right of the screen, and the referee is pointing at the puck. Number 23 points to number 23 and says the puck is still there. And I actually think Sodergaard looks at the referee and sees that he's pointing that the puck is not covered. So that would be very cagey. The awareness of Indergaard to catch the referee's eye pointing at where the puck was. Utilize that, gets his second goal of the tournament for Norway.
Ule Indergaard's first of the tournament. He's from Trondheim, Norway, which is Norway's capital of cross-country skiing. Here's Emilio Aventi over the line. Is it around the boards? We'll see what Norway is able to do with this little confidence boost. A power play goal too, so they're 1 for 2 on the night. Here's Kupalainen, peeled off the puck. And Alyuba plays it ahead. Kasper Haugen, shot right in on the glove of Noah Valley. And he'll hang on to this for the whistle. With 3:26 to go in the first, Ule Indergaard with the first goal of the game for Norway.
New score, Finland 4, Norway 9. Power play.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. We got that fact about Trondheim in there.
You did.
Yeah.
Cross-country capital.
Happy with that.
How about him looking at the referee pointing at the puck?
Never seen that before.
He had no idea it was there.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't see it from his angle,
No.
right? That's really,
Assist to Ludek Pilny.
it's really funny.
There's Per-Åge Skroder, assistant coach, one of the best Norwegian players to never play in the NHL. He's a legend.
Looks like a tough customer.
He's a point scorer, though.
Doesn't look like it, does he?
If they stay on him, I might
Oh, yeah, go
bring
ahead.
us back. Yep. There's Team Norway with assistant coach Per-Åge Skroder in the background. One of the greatest Norwegian players to never play in the National Hockey League. In the Swedish League, 513 points over 850 games. 7th most points all time in the history of the Swedish League. Most ever by a Norwegian-born player. 10 appearances at the top division of the World Championship, and then the 2010 and 2014 Winter Olympic Games for Norway as well.
Well, my early assessment is that looks like a tough customer as well. Not a goal scorer. That looked like a rough and tumble corner guy to me.
Played a number of years in Modo with the Swedish team there. Of course, one of the more historic programs in the top Swedish league. Produced the Sedin twins, Forsberg, Naslund over the years. He now coaches the 3rd division team that play out of the same city, Ervik. A great opportunity here for some of the young up-and-comers in Norwegian ice hockey to get to work with one of the best.
Three of the top players on this team, Baugh, Granith, and Vatni, all play in Sweden. Brynäs, Frölunda, and Färjestad, respectively. So an opportunity to go, as you say, continue to push to a higher level.
Seen a lot of the top Norwegians go and play outside the country, whether that's junior in Canada or North America, or in Matt Zuccarello's case, he went pro first in Norway and then played in Sweden before he got signed to the NHL.
One of the depth goalies, Andreas Fotland, playing in the Ontario Hockey Academy prep school.
Brought back out to center ice.
Norway's sort of hanging around here, Victor. They've had a couple of opportunities in the power play. They've had some scoring chances. Able to get the one goal by Indergaard on the rebound in tight when the puck was not frozen under Valley, but they've hung in.
Here's Jimmy Junkeri. Starts to break it with a pass over for Emil Kusala. Tom Leppa carries it in, looking across. He couldn't find a target for the pass.
Very similar to the first goal scored of the game.
Kiviharju up high. Ulla Indergaard has lost a stick for Norway. It's discarded high in the slot as Leppa carries it down low. Alisiev on the backhand. Skated back around by Kusala. Kusala fans on the pass. Overs Finn is there. So is Stian Stolberg, and he backs right into his man, Alisiev. He'll reverse hit, and back through center ice it goes.
Stolberg's been physical. He was the one that got involved with Haltonen earlier and drew the penalty. Surprised Haltonen by really burying the big man. 6'3" right winger. Runs about 215 pounds, and Stolberg put him right down, and Haltonen came back and took a penalty. I don't think he likes getting knocked down.
Stolberg's dealt with some injuries this year, and he is a late 05 birthday, so he hasn't had a ton of time to play this year, but he'll be draft eligible for the NHL next season, and if he continues to play well, he might get some looks. Plays with Vålerenga in the top Norwegian Pro League as the first period comes to an end with the score of 4-1 for Finland.
Talked about the start for Finland coming out of the gate early. Norway battled back and really got back into it on their power play with opportunities and finally scoring the goal.
2 goals in the period for Jesse Kiiskinen, and a shorthander there from Tom Leppa and Viti Väisänen completing the scoring for Finland through 20. They lead over Norway 4-1.
Jesse Kiiskinen, äsken kysyit, että onko Englannissa haastattelu, niin mä sitä mieltä, että Lahteen voitaisiin puhua. Käykö se sulle?
Joo, se käy hyvin, että tuo Englanti ei välttämättä olisi ihan lähtenyt.
No, mitä fiiliksiä tuosta avauserästä?
No, aika vauhdikas avauserä, että vähän sellainen mitä oletettiinkin, että päästään varmasti pelaamaan paljon kiekolla ja pitää niinku pystyä vaan nyt enemmän vielä haastaa maalia kohti ja saada vetoa enemmän maalle.
No, pari jäähyä Suomelle ja sieltä Norja itse asiassa ylärima ja sitten 1 maali tuli tuohon noin. Mitä ajatuksia toi herättää?
Ei mitään. Otetaan jäähyt pois ja pelataan sitä meidän hyvää 5-5 peliä.
No, oot hyvä jalalle liikkeellä, 2 maalia tähän erään, niin kerro noista maaleista vähän.
No ei, siinä toinen sellainen tilanne, joka on nähty joskus ennenkin, niin tuon Nurmen kanssa päätti hyvin sieltä Jepupääs laidasta tulee ja syötti mulle takikselle ja mulla oli helppo
Je ne suis pas en compétition. Pas dans ma cuisine. J'ai souvent cuisiné pour mes coéquipiers et même pour mes adversaires. Pour moi, cuisine est l'antithèse de la compétition. Dans la vie, nous avons tous besoin d'équilibre et d'un endroit où être soi-même, tout simplement.
Expect the unexpected with Oidobus, official partner of the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation.
Ein Volltreffer in Sachen Nachhaltigkeit. Die neue Wärmepumpe Aerotop SX von Elco. Elco, der Premium-Anbieter für Wärmepumpen.
Got a full day off tomorrow, though. You're going to enjoy every second of that, eh?
Tuossa mennään koko ajan, hei. Hyvä erää kohti vaan, hei. Hyvä erää kohti. Hyvä erää kohti vaan kakkiin.
Finland and Norway just about set for the start of the second period of play. 4-1 the score for the Finns after one, and although Norway have their work cut out for them here should they wish to get back into this game, some encouraging signs in the first period, Dave Poulin.
No question about it. Their power play in particular was very efficient. 3 opportunities. They finally scored 1 goal, but thought they executed well. Just overmatched, particularly physically in front of their own net. A couple of goals in tight. You can see the power of a Kiiskinen going in across, how much stronger he is, particularly in tight, how it's shown. And the big man, Väisänen, hammering one from the point and getting that goal. But overall, I thought Norway represented well.
Just their second goal of the tournament, courtesy of Ulla Indegard. And they'll go back to work here in their own zone early on in this second period of play. Emilia Venti goes down to the ice. And Kasper Haugen. And Jimmy Junkari carries it around. Back to Järventi. It's the younger brother of Roby Järventi. Saw him taken by the Ottawa Senators, 33rd overall in 2020. As a shot here is turned aside by Bjornsgaard.
Second round pick that's put some good numbers up in Belleville, and they've got plans for him. They think he can be a big part of what's happening in a good way moving forward in Ottawa.
Played in a couple of World Juniors. And his dad as well, Matti, played in the National Hockey League. 4th round pick to Montreal in 2001. Over 840 games in the Finnish Liiga, 2-time champion. So a well-rounded hockey family with the Järventis.
That draft, Ottawa has had a tremendous output from it already. And if you look at Timmy Stutzla and Jake Sanderson, they also had a late first-round pick in Ridley Gregg that have all played. The 3 players taken ahead of Roby Järventi. Tyler Clevin taken just behind him at 44th overall, the 4th player from that draft to play for the Ottawa Senators this year. So Järventi hoping to join an elite group. Boy, when you can knock off 4 or 5 players in that span of 44 picks, that's the way to get better fast. Timmy Stutzla, a true superstar in the National Hockey League already. Jake Sanderson on his way.
And we might see Emilia Järventi around that same area. Mid-second round pick as Helenius looks to pass off. That's broken up. Craig Button's got Emilia Järventi at 45 on his list. NHL Central Scouting has him 33rd amongst European skaters as Alessioro, his shot turned aside.
That was Philip Hagen again on that 2-on-1. Victor, we've mentioned him. He's had a couple of scoring chances, but a good defender as well. Uses his feet to defend, and a great stick play on that 2-on-1 thwarted the opportunity for Finland.
Shot incoming from the line, directed wide. Jesse Nurmi plays it around, and waiting for it is Philip Hagen. Off to Indegard. Chips it past, picked up by Mitsi Jokinen. Short pass ahead. Satra cut his man off, and here comes Finland back in over the line. Järventi looking in front for Jesse Kiiskinen. Steered around the end boards by Jesse Nurmi. He's knocked down. Pius Hienanen chases after with Jesse Kiskinen. Väisänen from the line, back around the boards. Ludvig Lafton played it ahead. Now Citra down to his knees as he rolls it in for Jimmy Junkeri. Floats out to center. Brought back in by Jesse Nurmi. He'll turn around.
Chipping off little blocks of this clock for Norway. Looking at the big defender there.
And through center ice, here comes Finland. Centering effort, doesn't get there. Emil Kusala into the offensive zone there for Finland with Lepa. Maxim Elisiev. Elisiev dressed as the 13th forward last game, although he did not play a single shift. So he's back into the equation today. Oni Lind is listed as the extra forward. We haven't seen him yet. As this pass is dropped back. Elisiev's worked over into the corner by Amandus Klungveit. And Emil Kusala in from the line. Sends the backhand high and wide. And Rasmus Kumpalainen settles it back down.
A little push here by the Finns after a good first 5 minutes for Norway. Victor, you mentioned that about the extra forward not playing.
Finland on the attack here. Venti's shot is blocked.
When I started playing in Sweden, the Rugla BK, the extra forwards wanted to untie their skates down on the end of the bench and take their skates off and put a wool hat on and mittens. And I'd say, like, wait a second, are you not going to play today? And the extra guys, some nights are extra guys in every sense of the word. They know they're not getting in the game.
Well, Frankie Corrado, colleague of ours, played a year in Sweden. I asked him, what's better, getting scratched or being the 7th defenseman and not playing a single second of the game? He said neither.
Not an option. When you're dressed as the extra player, you're the extra player. That doesn't mean you're going to be worked into the lineup like it is. You know, we watch in the U.S. side of things, the 7th defenseman and the 13th forward have played considerable minutes, but not always the case for some of these European countries.
There's a shot from Haltonen. That's fought off by the blocker Bjornsgaard. Works out okay if someone goes out with a major penalty or there's an injury, and then you've got an extra forward or a defenseman at your disposal. But oftentimes could be harder than not to find ice time. Round the boards, picking up speed is Jesse Nurmi. Short pass for Helenius, back to Nurmi. In on the left wing, skates it in past the defender Solberg. And around the boards it comes for awaiting Viti Väisänen.
See the speed of Nurmi going through that neutral zone. Nice little give and go play and just accelerating through. And this Solberg likes to play a physical game. They're aware where he is. It's a nice job of taking Helenius out there. But they had better be aware and have their head up when he's on the ice. He has shown no signs of backing off physically at all.
Shot in off the glass. Weiss did it down low with Setra. Hienanen tucks it around. Setra throws a hit, and it's picked up by Aaron Kiviharju, who had 3 assists in that first period, up to 6 now in the tournament. Jesse Kiskinen looking across for Hienanen. Couldn't find him with a pass.
Laughed and really well played on the back door. Got the stick off the ice. Kept his feet moving so as not to draw a penalty. Made it an innocent cross-ice pass.
Lafton on defense here again, this time against Hienanen. Emil Kusala sweeps in there. Hienanen along the boards. And out to center, Mitja Jokinen passes up. Kusala dodges a hit from Herman Boger. Turns it around to center. Finns were late on the offside. Kangas can't get it in deep.
Well-placed attempt to hit, though, because it's at the blue line and it causes an offside play. So protecting the blue line in a good way physically, even though the hit was missed, it threw the entire Finnish team into a place where they had to slow down.
Kangas. He takes the hit, and the Norwegian almost went up and over the boards himself.
They are playing a spirited second period, as they should.
This game really doesn't mean anything in terms of the standings. Finland will finish second in the group. Norway will finish last, and they'll play Germany for relegation. But there's a lot of pride just in being at this tournament for the Norwegians. They haven't been at the top division since 2011.
Victor, where you can really see it is when they score a goal. It's only the second goal of the tournament for Indergaard for the entire team. And so think about scoring a goal in Division 1 against the Finns. It's a big deal.
And Finland still up by 3 with 11:09 to go in the second. Yeah. Final day of group stage action in Basel, Switzerland. St. Jacob Arena, the site for Group B. And Finland will be staying in this arena as the 2 seed in Group B. USA will take the win in the group stage. It'll be Switzerland in the 3 seed, and Latvia are into the quarters as well.
It's a big mark for Latvia as well, getting into the quarters. Placing ahead, that relegation game, as we talked about, will include Norway.
The win, the 1-0 win for Latvia against Norway was just their 5th ever at the top division of the under-18 Worlds. Latvia got into the quarters last year and they lost to USA 13-3. Here's Hellenius dancing right in and goes right over the goaltender Bjornsgaard.
That could have been a penalty on Hellenius for finishing off the goaltender. I think he was frustrated. His final move didn't work, and he bowled over Bjornsgaard. Fortunate that he didn't get a penalty there for goaltender interference, or roughing, if you will.
Here he goes again. Hellenius lost the handle on it and goes piling to the end boards. Frustrating shift.
Well played reverse poke check by Bjornsgaard.
The shot from Solberg screams wide of the net. Amundsen back toward volley. Shut it down with a blocker. And Aaron Kiviharju orchestrates the breakout.
I think they should be a excited group on that Norway bench, thinking they're a shot away from making this a hockey game.
Jesse Nurmi battling down low. Nurmi with Kiiskinen and Heinonen. And here comes Felix Granith with speed through center. Granith takes the shot. Rebound. Indergaard had it right there, but he couldn't settle it for the shot. He's already got 1 goal today. Back in transition. Heinonen passes over. Kiviharju scores. Niilo-Pekka Muonen, the defenseman, joining the rush. And Finland in front by 4.
Yeah, what an opportunity for Indergaard. You can see him shaking his head. What a chance he has at the other end to make it 4-2. The puck was under his stick, and as is the way, Kiiskinen carries the puck back up. Nice little drop pass, opens up the seam pass across. big man puts it in. What an opportunity Norway had. You can just see Indergaard, how upset he is with himself. The goal scorer in the first period had his opportunity. Instead, it's 5-1.
Pekka Muinen's first of the tournament. Played just 3 minutes against USA in that 8-4 loss.
Big rangy guy, 6'3", looks long out there. Pretty good skating to join that play. So important for the defenders to be able to get up in the play and create that extra layer of offense. And, you know, as Kiiskinen comes in there, he has options, but the drop pass into the middle, all of a sudden the D is joining on the far side. And Muinen ends up putting it into an empty net.
Pekka Muinen from Kuopio, Finland. Same hometown as longtime Finnish national team defenseman Kimmo Timonen. Stanley Cup winner.
What a player.
He was as solid as they come, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Not the biggest player, but played a long time in the NHL.
Tremendous player.
Shot for the point from Mitsi Jokinen carries wide.
Still a favorite in the Philadelphia area.
Played a long time in Nashville, then it was Chicago. Shot off the post. This one from Tuomas Uronen. He still got it. Plays it out to the wing. That shot doesn't get all the way through. Another chance, they score. It's Emil Järventie. Just sticks with it, and it's 6-1.
Sorry, Victor, you can just feel the energy level up after that fifth goal. Norway had hung in through the first half of the second period. Järventie with a nice spin around move and an idea of where the net is. You can see as it pops out in front of the net. Little spin around move coming out. Puts it right up on the shelf. Pretty slick move behind the net by Unen. And there it is, an errant pass over. All of a sudden the spin shot is in the net for Järventie. Really tough one for Bjornsgaard to read. Watch in front of the net. That's a tough play for the goaltender to have any understanding of where that spin is going to end up and where that puck is going to go.
So Järventie makes it 6-1. The gap is 5. Over halfway gone in this group stage contest. I feel like Norway have deserved a bit of a closer game thus far, given the way they played.
But the Finns have the finish, Victor. They don't quite have the finish.
And the Finns have had the finish.
Finns have had the finish. The goal finish, if you will, the offensive finish.
Power break.
Norway and Finland into the final 8 minutes of the second period of play. Stian Solberg behind his net. A couple quick goals here in the second period. Back-to-back for Finland. Have them in front by 5. As Aljubba corrals it through center, skates in over the line. Turns it back to the point. Shot from Lofton, well off the mark. Back at center and set back into finish territory for Viti Väisänen. Väisänen skates it to the neutral zone. Passes ahead for Halttunen. Halttunen off the wing. What a shot! Wow, Kasper Halttunen kisses both posts and hits the back of the net.
And that is the shot and the play that have a lot of scouts highly interested in Kasper Halttunen. What a release, 6'3", 210 pounds. You can see up ice, takes the feed, pours through that middle ice area and pulls it in and rips it off the post and the crossbar. The leading scorer on this Finnish squad shows what a release, what a shot. Just pretty to watch.
Four goals in the tournament, one in every game for Halttunen.
Another talented big right shot Finnish goal scorer. What do you say?
Welcome into those who just finished watching Canada-Czechia. Tuned in just in time to see the prettiest goal of the 8 so far scored in this contest.
Although Norway would tell you theirs was prettier, Victor. Their second goal.
They got some help on that.
Their second goal in the tournament. Indergaard with the tally. Pretty excited young man when he scored that goal.
Norway back in the top division of this tournament for the first time since 2011. And although down big to Finland today, they have had their moments. Jesse Kiiskinen with a couple first period goals for the Finns, got him on top early.
And a well-played first period for Norway. Their power play executed, scored a goal, had a couple of really good opportunities. And then at 4-1, halfway through the second period, their best opportunity of this period, the puck jumped over the stick of that man, Ole Indergaard. Came right back down the ice for the 5th Finnish goal, and Finland has opened it up since then.
Aaron Kiviharju's got a 3-assist game going. As Junkari plays it down low. Kiviharju, underage defenseman still. He's not NHL draft eligible till next season. Already playing at his second under-18 Worlds. He could play in 3 of them before he's ever taken.
You mentioned a pretty elite defenseman, Kimmo Timonen, walking that blue line. I can still picture it perfectly, the left shot defenseman. And we're seeing that in Kiviharju and his abilities running that power play.
Centering feed, just missed. Picked up again by Kusala. Walks it around the slot and looking to feed it back in front for Elisiev. That's redirected and it pops into the protective netting, out of play with 5:38 remaining in period number 2.
Final score of tonight's game at round 3. Team Czechia 3, Team Canada.
There we go. What a shot. Oh, what a shot.
Team Czechia 3, Team Canada up.
Game going even, although they're outmanned physically for the most part, particularly by some of these big Finnish defenders. Not a lot of size on this Norwegian team, but there's some speed and some tenacity involved, and they had it going pretty good through the first half, but have slid a little bit.
And on the attack, shot high from Järventie is blockered away. Back to the point. Another shot incoming. This one misses. It's deflected high out of play. Head coach Christer Nyland would be familiar with a number of these players as the head coach of the Stavanger under-20 program. That's become the powerhouse program in Norway these days. In the top pro league, they just won this year's domestic league title in Game 7 against Storhamar, their 9th title since 2010.
Producing a handful of players that are joining him here.
This is pushed over to Lofton. So the Norwegian development system works very similar to that in Finland, where it's that vertical development. So you've got the pro team affiliated with the junior teams, the under-20, under-18, under-16. You can play your way up through the system.
It's a great way to push a player, but still let him participate with his own age group and learn how to really dominate at an age group and yet still be challenged as he moves up and plays, you know, a handful of games at a higher level. We see it a lot in Sweden, very successful. Finland and Norway has replicated as well.
The Swiss development magna. Nice collection of these players on this Norwegian team have played pro hockey in the top Norwegian division.
Quite flattering, you think, for a 16 or 17-year-old to be able to do that and then still take the skills or the challenges he learns at the higher level and take them back and show them at a age group appropriate level. So I think it's an important model, and we're seeing it help Norway develop.
Here comes Granith. Skates it into the offensive zone. He'll pass it back. Granith back down low, and Mira trying to throw it up over top of volley. Syndergaard back down for Mira. And around it comes for Granith. Backhanded for Jorgen Mira. Gets some support from Liam Setra. Anula Indegaard. Round it comes for Granith. Off the boards. Plays it down low. Setra centers. Indegaard had the pass go between his legs. Already has the one power play goal today. Norway are 1 for 2 on the man advantage. As Maxim Elisiev skates it in solo effort along the end boards.
Again, the possession for Norway on the power play. Doing a very nice job and just unable to finish.
Alyuba skates it down low. He's wrapped up by Väisänen. Out of the corner, it pops out. And flipped in, at least attempted to be flipped in by Kiiskinen, hit a body, and now it gets down low. And the power play to Kasper Halttunen expires as he jumps from the box with a little over 2 minutes to go in the second. Skating through the middle. Haugen never got the shot away. It just rolls in. And where is it? Finally, it's whistled down. Saw a similar sequence back in the first where no one knew where the puck was except the referee, and it wound up in the net.
Boger in there digging away at that puck and showing no shyness or timid play at all. The puck is not frozen. The whistle is not blown. You can see volley. You can see the puck out to the side. And great positioning by the referee there to stand right up on the back of the net and try and locate this puck as it comes across. And that's Indegaard again that missed that opportunity. He's going to be seeing it in his sleep. They keep showing Ole Indegaard on the bench, and he's missed two now that it just slid through with a vacant net behind the puck. He's going to the right places. That's what I'd be telling him right now.
Back out to center. It's kicked ahead to the line. Norway take control. Snapped ahead by Michael Stolin. Kiviharju directs it behind the net for Junkari. Jimmy Junkari pressured by Vatna as he plays it back behind. Hard hit in the finish zone. There's going to be a penalty off of this play. Here's Heinonen on the attack and forces Bjornsgaard to make a good save. Norway touch up, and we'll get the call here. Elbowing is the penalty with 1:30 left in the second.
That was Klungveit coming across, and boy, did he catch his guy. Watch this hit. It's Lind coming up ice. It's kind of a double combo hit. Watch Lind in the sights out. We're not going to get to see it because of Kivi Haryu's positioning there, but just a crunch of a body check. Coming right in on the heels was Carlson.
Well, I don't need to speak Finnish to lip read there. That's a joke, according to the assistant coach. I think
Not
Finland.
Sure. Did he think he wanted a major?
Well, that must be it. The Finns are.
I didn't even think. I thought it was a shoulder more than an elbow. It was a hard hit, open ice hit. But still, hitting is allowed in the game. We get into that sometimes where players expect no contact. Well, there are certain places of the ice, if you're going full flight, you better keep your head up.
Kasper Halttunen on the wing, plays it ahead for Kumpalainen, stripped away and shot through center. Down the ice it goes. Aaron Kiviharju lost it. Haugen takes it away. Plays it back through center, and then it'll just kill more time. Into the Norwegian zone, they'll fling it down the ice.
Haugen has been one of the better Norwegian forwards today. We've talked a lot about Indergaard and his opportunities. We've talked about Vatney, and after those two, it'd probably be Haugen who lists as their first-line center, who's been the most prominent forward for Norway.
Here's Kasper Halttunen. Back to the point. Jokinen for Halttunen. Back to Jokinen, and now goes to Helenius. Slows it down. Jokinen, one-timer. Halttunen lets it rip. Scores! On the doorstep, Rasmus Kumpalainen picks up the loose puck, deposits it in, and the Finns hit on the power play.
Everything set up for Big Halttunen to hammer that puck from the flank. That time it was Jokinen running the top. Usually it's Kiviharju, but Helenius gets it back to Jokinen. Watch the vertical walk, horizontal walk rather, across, and the big shot from the wing from Halttunen. Bjornsgaard can't handle the rebound, just managing to stop the shot, and the puck pops to a perfect place for Kumpalainen to hammer it home.
Got a nice bump by NHL Central Scouting from 34 in the midterms to 22 amongst European skaters in the final rankings. That's his third goal of the tournament. Plays for the Pelicans under-20 program with Jesse Kiiskinen. And just one period left in group stage action. Finland in complete control of this one, up 8-1.
Well, they certainly are the same output offensively for the Finns as they had in the first period, but all in the latter half of the period, which I guess is really similar to the first period because all the goals were scored late in each of the two periods. The Norwegians have to figure out a way to take the first half of the period and transpose that further down the line.
Well, another 4 on the board for Finland, 8 in the game to Norway's 1. 2 periods of play in the books. Lord Dyke and Dave Reed will take it away for the second intermission show when we return.
Tämmönen matsi lähtee sitten jollain tavalla laukalle.
Onhan siinä tietenkin sitten, kun tulos on vähän mitä on, että sitten ei ollakaan ihan niin yhdessä siinä joukkueen tekemisessä. Ja sitten saataisiin pidettyä kuitenkin se homma aisoissa ja silleen, miten ollaan totuttu pelaa, että saadaan se kuntoon taas.
Miten toi kuitenkin niin kuin näin ulkopuolelta näyttää selkeä se tasoero, niin miltä se tuntuu pelaajasta ja onko Norja lähtenyt niin kuin hölmöilemään tuolla kaukalossa?
Ei ne hölmöile, että kuitenkin saa hommia tehdä, että ei tuo kuitenkaan mikään ilmaiseksi tule. Että kuitenkin kun painetaan yhdessä hommia, tehdään joukkoina niitä asioita, mitä ollaan harjoiteltu, niin silloin se näkyy taulullakin.
Kyllä, eli teiltä selkeästi tulitte kovaa tähän matsiin ja Norja ei vaan pysy kyydissä.
Joo, tietenkin joka pelin kovaa tulla ja nyt ollaan mun mielestä hyvin pelattu, mutta kuitenkin on vielä parannettavaa, että voitais paremminkin pelata, mutta ollaan tyytyväinen tähän.
Kiitos.
Kiitos.
Ja samalla kun odotellaan kolmannen erän alkua, niin käydään tutustumassa suomalaiseen hyökkääjään Konsta Heleniukseen.
Ein Volltreffer in Sachen Nachhaltigkeit. Die neue Wärmepumpe Aerotop SX von Eco. Eco, der Premium-Anbieter für Wärmepumpen.
This game, go home, dinner, and then watch more hockey. Barrie North Bay, Game 7 tonight. You in North Bay.
First time I played in North Bay was Tier 2 back then.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't have the trappers. They were trappers, but they were Tier 2.
Right.
When I was a Dixie Beehive, and we went in, and there were 4 women sitting behind the bench with boxing gloves on, like boxing gloves, all 4 of them. We're like,
That's funny.
it's a tough week.
And you've probably never seen that since. 90 back. Okay. Got it.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go. Last 20 minutes. Let's fight. Let's go.
Let's fight. That's his big line. Let's fight.
Fight for the team. Fight for the team.
Fight for the team. Fight for the team.
Let's go.
Let's go, buddy. Fight for the team. Let's go, buddy. Let's go, buddy. Fight for the team.
I'm ready to fight for the team this third period fully.
Let's bring it home, big guy.
Let's go. Biggest comeback in IIHF history. Here we go.
Fight for the team.
Final period of group stage action set to go from Basel, Switzerland inside St. Jacob Arena. It is Finland and Norway ready for action with the Finns in front big after 4 goals in the second period. They're up 8-1.
Looking for a very efficient third period here from Finland. Smart playing. You don't need to pad the numbers any more than they are. You've played pretty well today. And I think Norway has played very well today. I mean, they've held their own through large portions. Finland essentially dominated. It's almost like they wear them down through the course of a period, Victor. And the last 5 or 6 minutes, they pile in, 3 or 4 goals. That's what they've done each of the first 2 periods. But Norway, through the primarily the start of the periods, has performed very well. They've gotten a couple power plays each time. But I think they should be proud of the way they've battled, and they will continue to battle here. They know the powerhouse they're playing. They want to continue to go at it, be aggressive, and up on their toes and play.
So as far as the standings go, there's nothing at stake now in this game with the 8-3 win for Canada over Czechia. We now know the quarterfinals, so it will be Sweden, Latvia. We've known that for a while. But it will be USA, Czechia, Finland, Slovakia, and Canada, Switzerland. And all 4 of those games will go on Thursday. You can see them all here on TSN starting at 6:30 Eastern Time a.m. So a bright and early start.
We will be up bright and early and right at it here, and we'll see this Finnish team for the 4th time. They've been very effective in this tournament. Their one setback was at the hands of the U.S. program, and as we've spoken about on several occasions, no one has quite figured out the formula for stopping that big line. It's a deep team, U.S. is, but they are powered by one of the top lines we've seen in the history of this tournament.
So they'll take on Czechia, as we mentioned. Although they lost 8-3 at the hands of Canada today, it cannot be overlooked, given what they've done recently in international competition. Silver medalists from the World Juniors in Halifax. This pass goes across, doesn't find the mark.
We've seen the quality of the Slovakian program as well with the draft picks. Juraj Slavkovsky going #1 overall in the NHL draft last year, and the number of players that have played with him.
So Slovakia, Finland should be interesting in the quarterfinals. Of course, Slovakia is back in the top division after they were relegated in 2019. It's been a bit of a wait for them, but they're back, and they've got one of the best draft eligible players on their roster this year, in Dalibor Dvoravsky, rather. As there's a whistle on the play. At any rate, Finland to the box, or rather to the power play with Semru Garcia to the box.
Not expecting to see the big Finnish power play here, although Kiskinen is out there. That's normally the second unit.
Don't see Halttunen or Helenius.
And Helenius would be the first unit with Kivi Harju running them. This one is being run by Jokinen.
Here's Nurmi looking in front for Heinonen. Emilio Arventi's out there as well.
Now, it's been effective in its own regard. Here's a 2-on-1.
Racing down the ice. Klungveit sends this one all the way around.
Not sure Klungveit knew he had help there.
Baugh, stripped to the puck. Gets it right back, though, and shoot it off a player. Whistle here on the play, brings it to a halt.
I believe that got up off the boards. Baugh thought he had it out of the zone, and good start to the kill here for Norway. So here's the slash right here, we thought, but they didn't end up.
Michael Stone.
Taking Stone, exactly. So unsure that was the slash that was called. It might have been a late hit. We understand. Against Simon Garcia.
Finland still with a minute on the power play. Bringing it in over the line with Tuomas Uronen. Stripped away and down the ice. Here comes Axel Sandnes. Rather, Felix Granith toward the corner. Tripping up is Kasper Halttunen. His unit is back out there with Kupalainen and Konsta Helenius. Here's Halttunen. For Helenius. In front is Uronen. Kupalainen shot. 1 goal already today. Bjornsgaard the save.
So this is the big unit, Victor, out in a 8-1 game in the third period. And coaches have their reasons for wanting to practice things at game speed. I guess that would be the option, but we've seen enough of the first unit overall for Finland today to know they're pretty good. Kupanen on the short side. It's a nice job by Bjornsgaard. He's hung in pretty well today, Victor. You know, we've seen some elite shots. Certainly that shot of Halttunen. The drag and pull and post crossbar ricochet is as good as you're going to see.
Here's Emil Kusla out of the backhand. That's going to do it for the Finnish power play. Back to the ice, Samarud Garcia.
Both teams playing at full strength. Team Novak are complete.
Now up the ice comes Viti Väisänen. Coughed up. Carlson plays it back to the slot. No one's there for Norway. And Tom Leppa in on the wing. Looking ahead for Maxim Elisiev. Elisiev carries to the near set, all the way back to the blue line. They'll hang on to it. Connects with Kusala. Kusala turns around. Through the middle, Kusala weaving into the net. And there's going to be a penalty here on the play as the puck is touched by Norway.
I think Leppa's going to get this penalty. Leppa and Solberg had a battle going, arguably for 30 seconds. It started on the half boards. It carried down to the front of the net. Solberg has taken no prisoners today. He has been in it the entire day, but now it's continued in front of the net. He goes down. Leppa ends up getting a stick infraction, but Solberg got the better of it with a big hit on the far side and continuing to be a thorn in the sides of the Finnish players. Entertaining to watch. Stian Solberg.
Norway's 1 goal today came on the power play, courtesy of Ule Indegard. Granith plays it down low. He'll get it back on the wing. Up high, Hagen. Indegard, the shot redirected in front, just wide. Racing ahead for it. Alasiurawa carries it over the line. Artur Alasiurawa, his shot handled by Marius Bjornsgaard. Crossing it over the line the other way. Grant at the shot, he scores! Noah Volley got a piece of it with the glove. It popped up. He lost track of it, and it rolls down his back and into the net.
Rather innocent looking shot from Granith, but they've had some good shots denied, so why not a soft shot going in? Just releases it. The captain crosses the blue line, uses a little bit of a screen, maybe tipped, or more of a mishandle right down the back of Valley and into the net. The third goal of the tournament for Norway. There's the bounce down the back. And into the net, not a good feeling for a goaltender when a puck is rolling down your back. Great angle of it here. Right down the one on the back. Not a happy man. Would be Noah Valley. That's an embarrassing one for him. He doesn't like that one, Victor. Second goal of the game for Norway, third of the entire tournament.
So Felix Granith will get credit for the goal. Mentioned he plays in Gothenburg with the Frölunda junior team, one of 3 Norwegian forwards playing in Sweden this year. And his head coach there is Martin Dahlin, the father of star NHL defenseman Rasmus Dahlin. Martin Dahlin also part of the coaching staff with Sweden at this tournament in the other group.
Started the tournament off with a bang with an 8-0 win over Canada. And tend to start these tournaments very well and don't finish quite as well by reputation. Another look at that shot. You can just see the puck pop up in the air. Valley doesn't have any idea where it is, but all of a sudden he feels it on his back and it's too late. And a little smile from Granith on the bench.
I'll remember that one for a long time. Captain of the under-18 national team. You get to come to a tournament like this where Norway hasn't been since 2011. You score a goal. He was part of the team that won silver at last year's Division 1A tournament. One of 4 returning players from that group. They lost in the final. Well, actually, I should say they didn't lose in the final, but they lost in the group stage to Slovakia. So there's no single game elimination in the D1 tournament like there is in the top division. It's just group stage, and then the top 2 from last year's tournament got promoted. That happened to be Slovakia and Norway. This year, there's only 1 that's being promoted. And the Division 1 tournament actually just got underway a couple days ago. So Kazakhstan currently in top spot there, winners of their first 2 games.
France would be a favorite in that, would they not?
They would, but they lost in a shootout to start their tournament against Ukraine. There's a shot incoming from Järventi. Gets a bit of a face wash there from the goaltender. Team Denmark will be another favorite in that Division 1A tournament to try and promote themselves into the top division.
And only 1 relegation, obviously.
And Norway will be playing for the relegation lives. It'll be a best of 3 against Team Germany.
So a little baseball action going on here. I'm not sure how much baseball goes on in Norway. I don't think there's a lot of it. The glove is gone, and Järventi accidentally kicks that glove away from Bjorn's guard. And the referee immediately blows the whistle, as he should, and said, we're not going to let that happen.
Off the top of my head, cannot name a Norwegian baseball player.
Nor will you be able to. Indergaard, the late player added to the line rush here.
Norway will take it in their own zone. Very athletic country, though. In terms of the Winter Olympics, no country has more medals than Norway does. Over 400 of them over the years, and they dominate a number of those Nordic sports.
Amazing with the size of the country.
More than USA, more than the Soviet Union, more than Canada. And the Norwegian population right now stands at 5.4 million.
Remarkable.
The one place they have struggled, though, to have success is in the team sports. It's more so the individual sports where Norway have found a lot of success internationally, but still trying to build up the soccer program, the hockey program as well.
Our ace research analyst has informed us, without names, that there are 3, exactly 3 former Major League Baseball players born in Norway.
Really?
Yes, Victor Hovland is not one of them. Oh, that
one almost squeaked
as well.
Yeah, Noah Valley having some trouble here in the Finnish net.
Yeah, Valley a little leaky, and don't forget that Norway will take a great deal of pride, and right now they're winning this period 1-0.
Ludvig Lofton will play it up the wing. Shot incoming on Valley, shuts the 5-hole.
If I were Norway, I'd be throwing everything at the net right now.
Battle for it on the wing. Klingveit worked it down low. Pass off the near side boards out to center. Have to think it would be Emil Vini who gets that start in the quarters against Slovakia. Finns do have 3 goaltenders in this tournament.
Yeah, we'd seen Vini up till today. Noah Valley, his first start.
Visa Ved and Paw as well.
Against the U.S., even though you would say giving up 8 goals is the elite passing of the Americans on display.
Jimmy Unkari. Up to the near side. Here's Tom Lepa. Left wing. In on Semir Garcia. Tries to scoop it out in front. Semir Garcia chance to clear it, and he'll roll it down the ice, and just enough for icing. I was going to say almost perfect drawaway. That's another sport Norway is good at, curling.
Very much so. We see this little leaky shot from the side. Hits off the bottom of the glove and just trickles past the goalpost. Almost the second fortuitous bounce for Norway in the period. It was Satre that shot that puck, that having a little giggle on the bench about it. Tommy Lepa's had a nice game for Finland, the big centerman.
Kupalainen fires out wide.
On his way to Penn State. He'll become a Nittany Lion, play for Guy Godowski there.
Puck comes loose behind the net. Kupalainen back to the line. Unable to handle the pass was Niilo-Pekka Muoden. He's got it now. Puck pops out of play into the Finnish bench. 11:36 to go in the third in Basel.
Power break.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Bully.
Let's bring it home.
Yes, sir.
31 spectators. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, so I wouldn't recognize him.
I thought I'd just tease them. People are scrolling through their phones right now trying to figure it out. On 2, and he had a golden opportunity and put it back into the goaltender. Each time they've shown him, I think he's reliving that in his mind.
This puck is redirected well high out of play.
Norway's continued to compete in this third period, and they've held the Finns off the score sheet here. The Finns quite content to take this game and go home right now. Get ready for medal play on Thursday.
We'll get an off day tomorrow.
Mind does start to wander a little bit ahead to what's lying ahead. And the efficiency of 11 minutes, and you've got 4 lines rolling. It should be 3 shifts each.
Puck is directed wide of the net. Granith lays it back down behind for Jorgen Mira. Tripping up his Indergaard. Jorgen Mira into the corner. Back along the end boards. Granith sandwiched up along the boards by Kangas. Kumpalainen. Rather, Halttunen will play it back.
So a double show of strength and power there. Hellenius, the youngster, got up to a certain point, and Halttunen took over to settle things right down on the half boards and the way they control that defensive half board. So anything that goes up that wall, you're confident that Halttunen is going to get it out.
Turned over. Here's Liam Satra. Passes back to the point. Stian Solberg's shot is blocked in front. Brought up ice by Topias Hinnernen. Not far, though. Stapled up along the boards. Guided out by Essi Nurmi. Angled off by Bogert. And Langland carries it in. In on Valley. Back to the line. Stays in. Fished away by Jimmy Junkari. He'll slow it down behind his own net.
Little shout out to Christer Nyland, the head coach of Norway, and his group, because this is a well-coached team, Victor. They're outmanned, clearly. Outmanned physically, outmanned from a skill standpoint. They play a nice system. They help each other out. They forecheck well. They work in sequence. They support each other. It's a well-coached hockey team.
It was with this group when they got that silver in promotion at the under-18 Division I tournament a year ago. Finnish national. He's been coaching in Norway since 2011. Although he's set to return to Finland, where he signed to coach a team in the 2nd division back in his home country next season.
That whole sequence right there is just fundamentally good hockey. It's a shot block, it's support, it's a breakout, the defenseman joins the play. It doesn't end up in a scoring opportunity simply because they don't execute, but every piece of it is fundamentally good hockey.
Pushed up to the line, past Kumpalainen. Now here's Emil Järventie. Skates it in. It is 1-0 for Norway in this 3rd period.
And they know it.
In on the wing, Kasper Haugen. To the corner boards. Backhand, back to the line. Making a move with it is Philip Hagen. Shoots it back around. Oversvin for Hagen. Shot just off the mark.
When you're a young and growing program, you set targets. You're playing one of the powerhouses in international hockey. And you're beating them in the 3rd period. And that means something.
Here's Kumpalainen out to center with Järventie on the left wing. Järventie defended by Oversvin. He's got it now, and he'll throw it ahead. Lofted in by Baugh, and gloved down by Kangas. Alessiurua sends that one off the end glass. From behind the net, Stian Solberg. Boards and out to center for Kangas. Cross ice pass and sent right back to the near side. Junkari. Alessiurua couldn't get the shot through.
Once again, good defensive lanes for the Norway defenders.
Defensive play from Alessiotto knocks the puck away, and it comes back for Aaron Kiviharju. Junkari back for Kiviharju. Played most of his season with TPS Turku. It's a team that's co-owned by the Koivu brothers, Mikko and Saku.
Pretty good players in their own right. They are big deals at home.
Oh, they sure are.
They are heroes.
Turku is a great hockey town. Not the first time, though, they've had a great 16-year-old come through there. Capo Kakko played his pro and junior with TPS, and then if you want to throw it back to the 90s, another top-end draft-eligible defenseman, Aki Berg.
Sure.
Shot in by Lepa as he takes some contact up high. Lepa held up along the end boards. Alicia back to the point. Into Jokinen, over for Kusala. Kusala from his knees. Off the end boards. Kusala jumps out to the front of the net, takes a spill as he got the shot away. 5:24 remaining in Basel. Do we have another break after this? No, we do.
One more, yeah.
You want it, Cooley?
Sure.
All righty.
Did you see who got the penalty?
Oh, I did not. Oh, there it is. 22 in the box. Vatna.
Thank you.
My guy.
Your guy.
Elias Vatna.
Called, ran that. Tommy Lepa did a good job of saying, no, we got a power play here. We'll just take it. Important kill for Norway here. We've talked about them leading this period 1-0. Small little stages of victory as you're growing a program against a true hockey powerhouse in Finland. Been some positive aspects of this game for Norway.
There's Kumpalainen. Backhands it over for Kasper Halttunen. Kiviharju at the line off for Hellenius, and the shot is redirected by Stian Solberg and out of play.
A lot of skill on this team, but this power play still out there, the #1 power play. A little fist pump there by Christian Nyland. It's awesome. He's telling his guys, we are winning this period, boys. Finland with their #1 power play out there. Hellenius and Halton and the 2 stars on the wings here.
There's Kiviharju, one-timer from Halton, and he hits the mark again. Second of the game. That makes it 9 for Finland.
Well executed off the face-off win. We've seen that shot, a little different rendition of it. That a pure slap shot off the power play flank, and that's a good face-off win and a well-executed play by Finland. This guy in the middle, though, Kiviharju, the way he runs things, he just puts it in a good place, but it's the deception and the feinting he does in the top where the goalie has to respect the shot because it looks at all times like he's going to release the shot. Instead, he just fades over and lays it over to the big man. Intrigued to see where Halttunen goes in this year's draft. It's a big, skilled player. Looking very comfortable in an offensive situation. And hasn't shied away from any of the physical play in this tournament.
It'll be interesting to see whoever takes him in the draft, how that affects the future of where Halttunen plays next season. So he signed to play with HIFK Helsinki. He played 27 games for this season, but the London Knights also hold his rights. They drafted him in the CHL import draft a year ago. Depending on who takes him in the NHL draft, you might want to see him on North American ice.
There may be an influence there for sure.
And I'm sure the Hunters, Mark and Dale, wouldn't mind having a talent like that in their lineup for next season. This puck is smothered by Noah Valley for the whistle. We'll bring the group stage to a conclusion when we come back.
Thank you.
We got another period after this. I'm ready to go for another one. We can. Yeah.
We're thinking of doing that.
Awesome. Yeah.
My next break is going to be something involving a cocktail.
We're just coming up with it? Okay. Great. Sounds good to me. Just 4 minutes left in this group stage contest as we'll have a look toward Thursday, quarterfinal Thursday. And action gets underway 6:30 a.m. Eastern with USA, Czechia, followed by Finland, Slovakia, Canada, Switzerland, and Sweden, Latvia. The final quarterfinal at 2 o'clock Eastern. A full 4-game schedule coming up for you on TSN and the NHL Network on Thursday. Set your alarm clock, Pulley. Early start Thursday morning.
Probably a late night Wednesday night watching NHL hockey, so we're just in a hockey mode right now.
Who needs sleep?
Sleep is overrated when there's this much good hockey at all these different levels to watch. This is the future that we're watching. Many of the players in this tournament will go on to be household names at some point. One of the really fun things for me about doing this tournament, Victor, is watching the skills come up. You know, when I can say the first time I saw Patrick Kane was at 16 years old or 15 years old, you know, when watching the development, Jonathan Taves playing high school hockey at Shattuck St. Mary's, going on to World Junior fame. It really is fun to watch the development, watch the young prospects, and, you know, watch guys that really emerge and develop and get better, and you see them and they're very raw at certain ages, and all of a sudden you see 3 years later a different hockey player, and many of these players will be in that same category. Future stars who've worked a long and hard road to get there.
Out of the corner. Alicia sends it off the base of the net. So you and I will be back for the quarterfinal matchup between Finland and Slovakia, which we figure should be a tight contest. That one goes at 9 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. Finns coming away with bronze 1 year ago. Well, they have won this tournament before. Actually knocked out Canada a year ago. What was a very difficult quarterfinal matchup for them, having to deal with Connor Bedard and the Canadians. Here comes Kumpalainen. Shots kicked away by Bjornsgaard. Losing an edge at center is Jokinen. Satra back the other way, never got a great chance though.
Good defensive stick coming back.
And here's Kumpalainen, the shot. Save made by Bjornsgaard as the puck rebounds back through center.
Bjornsgaard battling to the end here.
And from behind the net, Kangas gets it started. Pass on the wing for Haltinen, looking across, and it's in. And Costa Helenius might have been the last to touch it. It'll be a late goal for Finland, and it pushes it to double digits.
Cross-ice pass by Haltinen went off the defender's skate. The goaltender caught it up high, and then Helenius came in and cleaned it up. Right place, right time for Contas Helenius. Comes in on the backhand, just able to put it up over Bjornsgaard. youngster continues his scoring prowess. You can see the unfortunate bounce. Bjornsgaard actually gets his pad on the first portion of that, unable to squeeze it, and it drops out.
Lenius out of Uljärvi, Finland, about 14 minutes northwest of Tampere. That'll be one of the host cities for the upcoming World Championship in under a month's time now. Plays for Jukurit in the top Finnish Liga. His second of the tournament, first of the day. His shot is ripped wide off the boards and back to the line for Jimmy Junkari. Kiiskinen off the outside of the net. He's got 2 today. Pius Heinonen through the slot. Heinonen passes off. Turning around is Jesse Nurmi. Heinonen shot. Hit some traffic in front of the net. And back ahead to center.
The referee working right till the end here. Oh, I thought he had a late call there. He did not. Might have been a hand pass on the play. A little under 30 seconds to go.
Off the draw. Backhanded up by Muhonen. Back in it comes. Nino-Pekka Muhonen's got it. Back there with Väisänen. Saucered that one up to his own line. Final seconds. Leppä's got it pinned up along the boards. 2 goals for Norway, 10 for Finland. And the group stage of the 2023 Under-18 World Championship is over.
And I would give high marks to this Norway team for the spirit. Talked about how well coached I believe they were in this tournament, how they worked hard right through to the end. It's a very good effort by this Norway team. Scored 3 goals in the tournament. Got a good battle going the entire time. A lot of fun to watch. And they played hard. Held in that third period. They had a hard time as periods went on. Victor, is very evident. You know, they were good through the first 10 or 12 minutes of a period, and then gradually they would just wear down physically. The Finnish team much bigger physically, and some high-end prospects were at the best night. Haltman was very good. Helenius was very good. Kiiskinen, similar celebration to what we see with Linus Allmark and Jeremy Swayman there between the 2 goaltenders. So emulating their boyhood heroes. But I think Norway should be very proud of the representation in this tournament.
The best player of each team will be awarded by Ragusa, sponsor of the 2023 IIHF Ice Hockey Under-18 World Championship. Geschätzte Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, die besten Spieler von jeder Mannschaft werden ausgezeichnet von Ragusa, Sponsor von der International Ice Hockey Federation U18 Weltmeisterschaft 2023. The prizes will be presented by. Die Preise werden übergeben von Sami Kauhanen, CEO Finnish Ice Hockey Association, and David Rascio, IIHF Discipline Manager. Best Player of Team Norway, der beste Spieler von Team Norwegen. Number 18 mit dem Nummer 18, Felix Granat.
And the captain, Felix Granat, who scored the second of the 2 goals today, will be your player of the game for the Norwegians. This tournament is not over for them yet. They've still got the relegation against Germany in best of 3.
Und der beste Spieler von Team Finland, number 33. Nummer 33, Aron Kiviharju.
And Aron Kiviharju had himself 3 assists in the first period alone. Will take the honor for Finland.
Interesting choice, because normally your eyes are drawn to the goal scorers, Helenius, Haltman, you know, the guys that get it done, but that's the guy that makes it happen from the back end, Victor. Excellent puck-moving defenseman, just really alert, really skilled. Very strong player.
Big win today for Finland, and we'll hear next the Finnish national anthem.
Geschätzte Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, bitte erheben Sie sich für die Nationalhymne von Finnland. The 2023 IIHF Ice Hockey Under-18 World Championship will continue at the St. Jakob Arena in Basel on Thursday, the 27th. Puck drop at 12:30. The matchup for this game isn't defined yet. Nach einem spielfreien Tag wird die Internationale Eishockey Federation U18-Weltmeisterschaft am Donnerstag, 27. April, fortgesetzt. Spielbeginn ist am 12:30 Uhr. Zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt ist noch nicht festgelegt, welche beiden Mannschaften das Spiel bestreiten werden. Auf jeden Fall freuen wir uns heute schon auf Ihren Besuch. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to say goodbye. Thank you for attending today's game at the St. Jakob Arena. Safe journey home and goodbye. Geschätzte Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, damit verabschieden wir uns von Ihnen. Besten Dank für Ihren heutigen Besuch in der St. Jakob Arena. Kommt gut heim. Salut zusammen.